Here to weigh in on all this is former acting ICE Director John Torres. John, thank you so much for coming on. I've been looking forward to talking to you because you've worked for this bureau. We've been following the story all morning long, Governor Sherill placing that curfew. As a former acting director of the agency, what is needed to calm the situation down, lower the temperature, as the governor is saying?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good morning. I will agree with what Governor Sherill is actually doing here, regardless of the justification she's using. The fact of the matter that the state police has been called in to help quell some of the disturbances that have been going on, I think is key here. One of the reasons that she's claiming is that additional ICE engagement will create more of a clash out there at Delaney Hall. But the reality is it's taken 8 days for state police to arrive on the scene to support ICE in protecting this facility. And what you see here, as we've seen in other facilities when there's been demonstrations, especially in Minnesota and Los Angeles and Chicago, is that you have people coming in from out of town that are in effect paid agitators that are trying to stir up this issue right here. And really what you do, as you've seen in New Jersey, is they are creating space, they're creating protest zones, and they are bringing in support so that this could be ratcheted down.
Yeah, DHS Secretary and the governor did find some common ground on securing protests outside of the facility. I'd like to get your reaction, Jose, on her reasoning. I'll talk to you right after.
To the people coming from out of state to create chaos and dangerous situations, you should not be here. You are not helping the people detained at Delaney Hall, you're not helping detainee families, and you're certainly not keeping New Jersey safe. We've had reports of ICE agents even being trained not to follow the Constitution. We know we can do this better, more safely, and with more concern for New Jerseyans than they can.
Yeah, you mentioned those out-of-town agitators as well. What more can the governor and the Trump administration do?
Yeah, well, I can tell you they can also ratchet it down some of the rhetoric here, talking about having ICE agents trained against the Constitution. That's 100% false. That's not true. But you do hear this type of smear campaign going on by protesters and those advocates that want to shut down ICE detention and ICE enforcement. So really what you can do is as we've seen in the past, and years ago, I was a special agent in charge of Newark, New Jersey. We allow visitations. They can schedule those. You can have people, members of Congress and other activist groups come in and take a tour back in the day and actually see what is taking place. When there's allegations of rotten food, they see that there's actually 3 meals a day being served. Same thing with ability to provide recreation, as well as also adhering to the ICE national detention standards, which there are assigned officers that make sure each facility adheres to those standards, as well as outside contractors. So there are additional things that could be done.
John, with your experience and what's been made public, are there any more steps authorities should be taking? And you made a point that I've been thinking about as well. Wouldn't it be just easier to let the governor or media in the ICE facility for the transparency and put this to rest?
Yeah, and there are actually ways to do that. There's procedures and protocols that ICE has been adhering to for 23 years of its existence and predecessor agencies before that. And so, yes, they can set up those visitations. In many instances, they have to vet the people that are coming through. It's not usually just going to be the governor by herself, but it'll be a team coming in. Unfortunately, in past instances, you've seen people try to sneak others in with false identities. You have to, for security purposes, ensure that someone's not going to come in and create a disturbance or try to get someone out against procedures and policies. So there are different ways you could do that, but there is that possibility and there is that protocol so that people can see through the transparency what is taking place inside the facility.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.